This week on Beacon Web News, I interviewed Professor of Arts Management Lisa Donovan about her new book. Reporter Sara Troy catches the action on SAC's first in-person event. And Sym Kehr looks into how the Venable Greenhouse will benefit the cafeteria. That's all coming up next on Beacon Web News. Hello, and welcome to the March 3rd episode of Beacon Web News. I'm May Craig. CESI will be hosting a Motivation, Success, and You workshop through Teams on Monday, March 15th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. The workshop will examine the dynamics of motivation to help students be more participatory, achieve personal goals, and make connections to real life. The Hardman Lecture Series will take place at 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, March 9th via Zoom. This year's speaker is Dr. Karen Bailyn, Assistant Professor in the English and Communications Department. Dr. Bailyn will be talking about her new residency program that she developed in coordination with Mass MoCA. The event is free and open to the public. To register, go to http://bit.ly/MCLA Hardman. In Pittsfield, Massachusetts, COVID-19 vaccine shipments expected early last week were delayed due to inclement weather and were smaller than expected, leaving Berkshire County with limited vaccine doses. According to the mayor of Pittsfield, Linda Tyre, the state of Massachusetts has received 139 doses, and there was a very limited first dose clinic at Berkshire Community College from 2 to 5 with 300 appointments available to eligible individuals. Vaccination sites in North Adams and Great Barrington held their first dose clinics on Thursday, February 26, offering 250 doses. For more information on testing, go to http://www.berkshirecc.edu to set up an appointment. Contact ireco@berkshireccc.edu. Student Activities Council hosted their first in-person event of the year, Blacklight Mini Golf, on February 27th in the Venable Gym. Here is Sara Troy with more on the event.
Tonight I'm here in Venable Gym at SAC's first in-person event of the semester, Blacklight Mini Golf. Let's go check it out.
This is the first in-person event that SAC has, and the first in-person event in general is going really great, actually. We've gotten better numbers than we have had in our virtual events so far.
It's great. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad we get to be in person.
I love it. It's so fun, even though I'm really bad.
Students signed up in groups of 2 or 3 to play mini golf on Saturday in a socially distanced manner. SAC hired an outside vendor to host the event. Last week, I spoke with SAC President Crystal Roderick regarding the event and what to expect for future SAC events this semester.
This one is actually an outside vendor that's coming to campus, and they are required to be tested within 48 hours of their arrival for COVID, and they have to test negative. So they'll be guaranteed to be negative when they do come, and they have their own precautions for like sanitizing the golf clubs and things like that. But we also will be having hand sanitizer available, and our own SAC e-board will be at the event to make sure that people are properly social distanced.
I got the chance to speak with SAC e-board members working the event and students playing in the Blacklit Gym.
People are coming up, they're hearing the music, they're feeling the vibe, and if you just, look out there, I'm sure you'll figure out why. Blacklight is really popular, and, we're just here to have fun.
I like how they only have certain groups and only 3 people can be in here at a time. That's pretty cool.
Keep an eye out for upcoming SAC events. As the weather gets warmer, events can be hosted outside, and capacity limits will increase. For Beacon Web News, I'm Sara Troy.
Saturday, March 6th, SAC will be hosting their 3rd annual talent show from 7 to 10 p.m. This year, the event will be held virtually. You can view it live. Find the link at mcla.presence.io. If you are looking to participate, email Helen Hodge to sign up. On Friday, March 5th, the Department of Sociology, Anthropology, and Social Work will be hosting a night of music and discussion on migration. Natalia Serna, known as La Muna, a Colombian sociologist, will be sharing her story and performing her music from 4 to 5 p.m. via Zoom. Contact Anna Jasendar for more information. Last week, the North Adams Housing Authority Board of Commissions voted to create a strategic plan towards providing free internet to all students. Members on the board said they understand that the internet is an essential service that people need and use. They also agree that this plan will help residents be able to find jobs and work in school, and members who can't afford the internet will no longer have that as a concern. For more information on this story, please visit www.iberkshires.com. Berkshire Community College will be hosting a virtual massage therapy information session on March 3rd at 4 p.m. During the session, they'll be providing lots of information, such as more information on the program. For more information, please visit www.iberkshires.com. On Friday, February 26th, MCLA professor Lisa Donovan and her co-author, Sara hosted a virtual panel about their new book, Teacher as Curator, Formative Assessment and Arts-Based Strategies. I spoke with Lisa Donovan more about what her new book was about and what inspired her to write it. Lisa Donovan's new book, Teacher as Curator, Formative Assessment and Artist-Based Strategies, was published by Teachers College Press on October 30th, 2020. Teacher as Curator provides a roadmap that educators and students can use to implement creative strategies in the learning process. The book also deals with how people can benefit from an arts education.
Curator is really an invitation for educators, for teaching artists, anyone who's really facilitating or teaching with and through the arts. It's an opportunity to really think about the arts as a formative assessment strategy, that the arts can help us assess learning and as well as engage learners in learning through the creative process. The notion of curator invites educators to really think differently about the intentionality of all of the choices that they're making as they design a lesson plan, as they implement, as they document, as they share. And so really it's a celebration of educators' expertise. It's an opportunity to think differently about the different roles that the arts can play in education. And it provides a rich set of resources from culturally responsive teaching to arts-based strategies to tools to bolster assessment in the classroom.
Lisa Donovan also serves as director for the Institute of Arts and Humanities. The Institute of Arts and Humanities is funded by the Andrew Mellon Foundation. The program is designed to increase diversity, equity, and inclusion on campus through the engagement of the arts and humanities resources across the Berkshires.
Passion has been arts integration and bringing the arts to the center of the curriculum in schools. And so I've been doing a lot of teaching about arts-based strategies over time, and really looking at how change can happen and why aren't the arts, when we know they're so powerful as a learning tool, why aren't they at the center of the curriculum? And so over time I realized that in order to really move the needle on people understanding what the arts do for learning, that we need to really think about assessment and the idea that the creative process is laden with evidence of learning. So the idea of focusing on assessment in arts integrated work led me to the book and designing a series of protocols for people to use. That I've gotten consistently from educators who dip into the different processes is that the text really allows them to claim their own expertise and document it in ways that can be shared, leading to change. That the processes that we're offering invite practitioners to be more reflective in their practice. I've had educators say, I've always been an educator who was reflective, but this takes it to a different level. Just lots of feedback on how reflection can and documentation of the creative process in the learning environment can actually create a feedback loop so that you're constantly growing as your students are constantly growing and making learning visible.
Beacon Web News, I'm May Craig. On April 7th at 6 p.m., the MCLA Alumni Association and the Queer Student Union is co-hosting an event called Lavender Career Roundtable, MCLA faculty and staff on being out in academia. The event will be a safe place for a discussion that will be moderated by MCLA faculty and staff members that identify with the LGBTQIA+ community. This event is free and open to current students and alumni. On March 23rd at 4 p.m., the MCLA Foundation is hosting its first Endowment Summit, which will allow donors to hear about endowment investments which have been improving. They would like an RSVP by March 20th. To RSVP, click the link on the MCLA event page or by calling 413-662-5224. The MCLA Honors Program will be hosting Understanding Whiteness and White Supremacy, a dialogue with 3 scholars on race. The scholars participating in this event are Lee Babout, a professor of English at Arizona State University, MCLA's Associate Professor of English and Communications, Hannah Haynes, and Jennifer Studznik, a postdoctoral research associate in the Evaluation and Learning Research Center at Purdue University. This event will be on March 11th at 4 p.m. via Teams. The MCLA and Mass MoCA under 27 writers in residence, Noor Hindi, will be conducting a one-evening craft workshop entitled Queering Resistance that is free and open to all. This event will be on Thursday, March 4th at 7 p.m. via Teams. The North Adams Police Department warned of a scam alert on their Facebook page on February 22nd. They said in the post that residents have been receiving calls from the number 413-664-4994 or 413-664-4945. These scammers have been calling, asking residents for their personal information and spoofing the NAPD's phone number. The NAPD recommends you hang up and call the police station at their non-emergency line to see if an officer is actually trying to get in contact. Massachusetts entered in Phase 3, Step 2 on March 1st. This means that indoor performance venues, including concert halls, theaters, and other indoor performance spaces can open up to 50% capacity with a max of 500 people. Indoor recreational activities with greater potential for contact. This includes activities such as laser tag, roller skating, trampolines, and obstacle courses can open up to 50% capacity. All areas that have capacity limits have been increased to 50%, excluding employees. Restaurants no longer have a percent capacity and now can host musical performances. However, 6-foot special distancing, no more than 6 people in a table, and a 90-minute limit are still in place. For more information, go to mass.gov. The greenhouse in Venable has just started being used. Sym Kehr looks into how the greenhouse will impact the MCLA community.
The Venable Greenhouse has not been in use for a few years due to the new greenhouse on top of CSI. The Environmental Sustainability Committee and the Dining Services teamed up to start using this resource again to grow food for the cafeteria.
I think this was an idea that, as I mentioned, Jason, this recent alum from the computer science department, I think he was in conversation with Chef Tony at our Airmark Dining Services about this idea of using that greenhouse space to grow some produce that could be used by dining services. You know, we're pretty excited about it in that we definitely see this as an initiative that will very much involve students. So there's a student intern right now, Anira Cologne, and Anira is also kind of, with COVID limitations, is also in communication with other students who are interested, who will be assisting. Anira is doing an internship with the Sustainability Committee, and there will be, ongoing opportunities through internships and other kinds of student activities for students to be involved.
Anira talked about what the role will be like as a student intern for this project.
So basically, I am going to manage the systems and the seedlings themselves in the greenhouse. So greenhouse manager would be my role then. So essentially, I would have to track the growth of the seedlings. I'll have to make sure they're properly watered, that the temperature is fine, that everything in the greenhouse is functioning well.
Costs were kept low, as much of the work was done by facilities and Aramark. According to Aramark's general manager, Scott Tolmec, they provided the seeds and topsoil. The soil was a one-time cost of $260, according to Elena Traster.
Facilities built some beautiful wooden garden beds for us to be able to grow the veggies in there. So that was a bunch of work. And then in terms of equipment, also supplies. So we need the soil, of course. So that was also a project figuring out exactly how much soil we needed. Again, and Ira was involved with that kind of calculation, figuring out what we needed and exploring what our options were. Again, we're thinking about this in terms of sustainability, and there's a lot of components of that. And we were interested in trying to identify a local source for the soil. There were some challenges around that, but we did find a local supplier in Lee.
My hope for this project is that I essentially want it running for as long as it could. Like, I really do see potential in this greenhouse getting started up, and just the fact that, we can use this one to actually benefit like what students are going to eat. Like, I really hope that this greenhouse will like still support like our student body by giving them fresh foods. And then I hope that it will also expand.
You may or may not expect that when you say, okay, we're going to plant some seeds and we're going to grow them, but that ends up being this experience that's really powerful for students. So just having that experience of planting and caring for, that daily care, it's if you don't water and make sure that your plants are the right temperature every day, then they die. And so it's a really big investment. And then there's a really big feeling of accomplishment when you've got your little baby seedlings that are growing and you raise them, and then you can eat them. And so I'll say that I have every year watched students that have been involved with raising seedlings have this really a powerful experience doing it. So I anticipate that there will be something similar there.
The greenhouse will be growing tomatoes, Brussels sprouts, cucumbers, and 15 different herbs. MCLA also hopes to pickle some of those cucumbers and have students vote on the first ever MCLA pickle. For Beacon Web News, I'm Sym Kehr.
And now from the Beacon. SAC is confident that student events will be able to be held in person come the fall semester. President of SAC, Crystal Waljak, said in an interview with the Beacon that their hope is that when students return in the fall, things will be back to normal and we can have full-on events. Residential Programs and Services has lost 3 residential advisors since the fall semester, leaving the number of RAs at 15 during the pandemic. Guest director David Lane is planning to bring some magic and fun to the MCLA's Fine and Performing Arts production of Midsummer's Night Dream by using puppets and imagination. The Multicultural Education Resource Center hosted a virtual mental health workshop for staff, faculty, and students of color on Wednesday, February 24th. You can check out these and other stories from the Beacon at theonlinebeacon.com or pick up a copy all over campus. Watch next week when Antoinette Webster covers how the cafeteria is now offering reusable containers for students to use. That's it for this week. To stay up to date with BWN, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/MCLABWN. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.